Make some music. Let's see.
It's still not playing. You stop playing.
Oh, thank you. Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Inside Report. I know you guys have been asking. We took a few days off to kind of get some things going. We got some major things going on here, and you can see a lot of stuff here in the stage room. But I can't tell you yet, but you're going to be very excited about it. Today, we have something incredible for all you entrepreneurs, business owners, and people that want to make money outside of your 9 to 5. And even if you want to be better in that, we got somebody because everything, to be honest, is a sale. So we got somebody who is going to give you guys some nuggets today. We're talking about how to make money on Black Friday, on the upcoming Christmas season, and how to really realize your dreams. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, the Black Legacy Wealth Project. These people are dedicated to creating generational wealth, financial literacy, and sustainability in everything you do to make your dreams come true. Thank you for our sponsors. And without further ado, as they say, let me present to some and introduce to others. Maybe I got that backwards. Janae Walker. We want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be coming on here on your show and just catching up with and meeting some of your followers and the people that watch this show. So I'm excited.
Well, let me just tell you guys a little about this woman here. To my left. She is the CEO of the Sales Success Society. Now, I don't that word is that term, that phrase does not convey everything that she does. And I couldn't wait to drop it in. So you guys, you see the scrolling ticker at the bottom. That's gonna make sense to you in a second. She basically and before she got on with us, we want to thank her. She was actually coaching in Brazil. She was actually doing, she has to get up, and even though she's on the East Coast, she has to get up very early because she has trainings in all these different places around the world. So we were so happy to be able to grab a couple of time from her and for her to drop a few nuggets on you guys because she's going to tell you guys about what she has to offer you guys, especially if you want to start coaching and really doing better in your sales. Okay, if you want to really start helping your team, if you've got a business, you want to start doing better in sales at your job, if you want to do better in sales at your business, you need to listen to this woman. So I want to just ask here, for me, and I think we've talked, before we began, I was in sales. I love the relationships. I love talking to people. I love working with people, but sales is tough. I mean, especially, oh my God, I'm in flashbacks when I used to have to do like some cold calling for a business. I mean, I remember I used to go door to door selling newspapers, and just that getting over because most people we don't want to be sold. We don't want to be sold, but then when we miss an opportunity, we're like, oh my God. Well, you didn't want to be sold to, and I just think of it when I would like send out a campaign, email campaign, and people unsubscribe. I'm like, really? I could have been offering the stocks in the next Microsoft. You don't know, but nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to be seen. How do we get over that fear?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. That's a really great question. And honestly, I spend a lot of time talking about mindset, preparing or priming our mind for sales success. First off, we have to really kind of switch our brains because everything that we have and everything that's on our desk, everything that we use on a daily basis actually start as someone selling that product to someone. So everything in this world is sold. And you're absolutely right. People do not like to be sold, but people love to buy. So where's the disconnect, right? If we love
Right.
to buy stuff, but we don't like to be sold, we need to find a way to make it easier for people to get their problems solved. If you think about selling as a way to solve problems, the same way, if I was laying in the middle of a street and you saw a car about to run over me, the solution would be you would probably run into the street and you would drag me out of the street so I wouldn't get hit with the car. I'm hoping that most people, if they saw somebody laying in the street, that they would run out and grab them, right? And selling is very similar. It's having conversations with people who maybe not have as big of a problem as laying in the middle of the street about to be run over, but they have some type of problem and you might have a solution. And so you have to think about it. You have to make an attempt to help this person get out of the street or get their problem solved. So it's your job to go and to tell people who have those problems an option that you have that can help them relieve some of that pain or get out of that problem. That's how you have to think about selling.
Wow. Okay. So, and it's so funny you say that because sometimes it's easier for us, and I'm just talking generally for us as a people, to sometimes, and some people don't have this mindset, but to do something for someone else than to quicker than to do it for ourselves. I always use my mom was a nurse for over 30 years, and people in the medical field, doctors, would say, don't, you got to quit smoking. It's not good for you, and then go out in their break and have a cigarette. So it's one of those things, right? When that mindset, thinking about that, like if I'm doing it for you, I'm offering you something that I know has value. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm not really selling, I'm really providing a solution to a problem you have. And you're right.
Right.
So you're calling saying that, then it's easier for me to say, hey, why wouldn't you do this? And when I come across genuinely, because I'm really trying to help, that connection is easier to be made. Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. See, when it comes to mindset, it's all about the stories that we tell ourselves, right? So if I have a story that selling is manipulative, I'm selling something that nobody needs. Absolutely. You should not be selling stuff that nobody needs. You should not be trying to manipulate anybody because selling is also about integrity.
Right.
You have to believe in your heart that, hey, I have something that's going to help people. It might not help everybody, but it's my duty to make sure at least everybody has the option to know that there is this solution out here. Whether they say yes, whether they say no, all I have to do is put it in front of people,
Right.
and that's the only thing that you want to think about as we talk about like selling mindset, right? It's like, no, you don't want to just shove stuff down people's throat, or what I like to call the vomit, right? You know how people show up and they just vomit their product all over you, right? It's not about that. Because there are some people out there that will come and just vomit all about their products and services. No, it's literally about a conversation, talking about what issues, what problems, what situations people are finding themselves in, and saying, hey, you know what? I've been there too, or I know people who have been there too. Let me show you what I have that has worked for them. And if it's something that resonates with you, then let's have a conversation about how you can get this in your hand. If not, keep me in mind. If anything ever comes up, or if any of your friends, I would love to give them a presentation, and you keep it moving.
I love that. I love that. And you know, it's so funny. I've noticed as of late, probably over the last maybe couple of months, and maybe it's been happening before this, but I'll go to a website and it'll be like, would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? And it'll be like, yes, or maybe later. And it in my mindset, and maybe it's in them, it used to be like yes or no. And no is such a final thing. But maybe later kind of keeps the door open for, maybe I'll do it later. And you got to either choose yes or maybe later. So what happens is even in your mind, you're not closing the door. You're going maybe later, even though you might mean no, but you're going
Right.
maybe later. And so it disappears so you can progress to what you need to get to. But at the
Yeah.
same time, they're keeping that mental door open. So I
Ab-
thought,
yeah. You know, first off, let me just say, no is not a bad thing. I
okay.
actually prefer no. That's
Really?
yes. As a salesperson, no is a good thing. Here's the thing that people don't think about. Because a lot of people that aren't in sales, they'll be like, oh my God, I can't stand rejection. I can't stand this. I can't stand that. I personally don't see no as rejection. But what's worse than a no are the people that say, oh, let me think about it, or I'll get back to you, or the people who just plain out don't care. I'd rather have a no, because that tells me that you're definitely not interested. There's no need for me to try to chase you down every couple of weeks to figure out what your mindset is. I already know that it's a no, right? So I'm fine. Now, here's what we have to do as sales professionals to keep people nurtured, because now you're talking about a nurture sequence, right? Because there might be some people that are interested in your product, but for whatever reason, maybe they don't have the money. Maybe the timing is not right. Maybe they're not at that point in their business where they're ready for a solution like yours, right? So now that no becomes a not right now, right? So then you want to have a nurture, a thing where you can nurture, and a newsletter is a perfect nurturing type of a thing to do, because now you're sending them emails on a consistent basis, and you're keeping at the front of mind for those type of people, and you're waiting for that right time. So there's nothing wrong with that, but tell me no in a minute. I'd rather have a no than you string me along and I'm thinking that I have a sale, and you're just going, because that takes time. Remember, time is money. I don't want to waste my time on those people that are absolute no.
Wow. And that is so true. And you know, oh, and look, Ebony says yes, absolutely. It's a great idea. Thank you. Yes. And you know, that's one of the things too. I am guilty of that. I am guilty of that. And I don't know how many, and you know, to any of the salespeople that have called me over the years, I am so sorry because I was absolutely that person that was like, yeah, you know, if you can get back with me next Tuesday, we're going to be having our quarterly report. Knowing I ain't got no money, knowing I
Right.
can't buy that, or I'm just not interested, but I know how hard it is. I pick up the phone and get me on the phone and get more of 5 seconds of my time because I'm like, I got so much to do. And I'm just like, I don't want to be like, no, you die in hell. I don't want to be that guy. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, call. And so they put me in their thing, their workflow to call me next Tuesday. And I know I ain't got no money next Tuesday either for your thing. I should just be honest and be like, you know what? Your time is valuable. No, I can't afford that. And no, it's not what I need right now. I thank you. So yeah, and
So I'm
so,
giving you permission. I give you permission that if it's something that you really don't want, or you don't have to be nice and say, you know what, let me think about it. If your answer is really a no. Just say, Jay, you know what, this really is not for me. Just say thank you, but this is not for me. And I'll say, okay, not a problem. If you know of anyone else that has this same problem, will you just do me a favor and just connect us? I can share the same information with them, and maybe you will be a part of helping somebody else.
wow. Now you guys see, okay, this is incredible. And you guys also, if you guys have any questions, let her know. Put it in if you're watching this in the replay. Put replay and ask the questions. So we're looking at this, and we will reach out to Jay and let her know. Now you guys are probably wondering, what's that scrolling thing? What's that about at the bottom? So
Yeah.
tell them what this is about, Jay.
Yeah, so I am the CEO, the founder of Sales Success Society, which is a new membership where you get to learn all about sales and marketing, whether you are an entrepreneurial seller or if you are even a professional sales rep like I was for the last 20 years, right? And you really are ready to level up on your sales, on your marketing, on having conversations, on being customer centric, right? You might be ready for that. That is the opportunity that I am giving to people, is to come in and to learn about it. And plus, every other week for an hour and a half, you get the opportunity to call in to your very own VP of sales, which is me. Any type of question, problem that you're having about getting your product to market, about having conversations with people, about converting, you don't have to go anywhere else. I will carry that burden for you. I will answer all of your questions in that membership. But it's only at a limited time that I'm offering this membership at such an affordable rate, only because out of true transparency, my checkout is broken, right? And so I have a limited number of spots. While that is not working, well, I will send you your very own private invite link to the Sales Success Society, so you will be able to take advantage of not only the class, because the class back there is called Unshakable. Get yourself unshook when it comes to sales and marketing. Get yourself a VP of sales, somebody that's going to walk alongside of you, and you can get that all for the very low price of 97 bucks.
What?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's 97 bucks. You get community, you get the class, you get the call-in spot where you can ask any question as it relates to your products or selling, and it's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah.
I probably shouldn't even be offering it this low. Like everybody's like, "Are you sure you want to do?"
You know what? Well, look, look, she's up. You see, that's why y'all need to tune into the Inside Report because you're not going to get this offer anywhere else. So this is incredible. So, like I said, email hello at what is
John,
it? What any
hello
Walker,
at
and
JayWalker.com.
put in the subject line.
I want in.
I want in. And y'all see it right there. Limited number of slots available. That ain't just sales slot. Seriously. Now it's so funny. Bernadette actually said, "How do I or should I ask what is this? Or should I wait, how do I or should I ask why they don't want to buy? Oh, so when you get a person who's like, no, I'm not interested, should you proceed? That's a good question, a great question, because should you pursue that? Or you just go, you know what? Okay, fine, they're just not my people. They don't want it. Or should you kind of find out, is it the way you're presenting the product to them as why they don't want that? Should you do
Yeah.
that?
That's a really good question. So, one of the things that you have to do when you're doing a really thorough sales call is to ask really great questions, right? And so, honestly, the two biggest skill sets that salespeople need to have is active listening and asking great questions. So if you know how to ask great questions, you're probably going to know the why they don't want to buy. And if they don't actively if they don't directly put it out there, if you actively listen, I'm talking about watching for body language, for a tone of voice, you will be able to understand or intuitively see that this sale is probably not going to happen. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you're really perplexed as to why people don't want to buy, because there could be a number of reasons that we kind of talked about before. Maybe they need an easier way to buy, right? Maybe instead of chucking out thousands of dollars at one time, maybe they need a payment plan, right? Maybe they're not ready for this top tier product that you have at here, but maybe they're ready for something that's a little bit lower, that's a little bit less of a commitment. And that's why I always recommend when you are selling to people, have different options, different payment options, and different product options. So that way people can get in where they fit in, right? Because then it allows you to continue to nurture them and you get to be a part of their journey going from here to maybe here. And that's what it's all about, is helping them close that gap.
Okay. Now, is it in bad form? Is it in bad taste to ask somebody, "What's your budget? Can you afford this? Is this price too high?" Because you're trying to see if there's, like you said, a happy medium, or is that insulting for for people to think, "Oh, you think I can't afford it? No, I don't want it." You know what I'm saying? I mean, how do you approach that? Because when it comes to money, people get funny.
Yeah, I'm definitely funny about my money. And let me tell you something. As a buyer, now I've been selling for over 20 years. As a buyer, if someone was to come out and ask me what my budget is, I'm immediately turned off.
Wow.
Okay, because we have something called buyer resistance, and everybody has it. It means that we're resistant to somebody trying to sell us something because remember, we don't like being sold. So if you come at us with that question first in mind, what's your budget? You already put our buyer resistance on high, alert high,
Wow.
and off the charts, right? So here's what you got to do. You have to find ways to ask questions to get the information to where you're not tinkering around that resistance, that buyer resistance. So if a customer comes at you, you introduce yourself and says, customer says, well, how much is this program? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Since you, the customer, brought up price, I'm going to then ask you another question. I'm going to say, well, what price were you expecting to pay to get your problems met? Right? Like, did you set aside a certain amount of money in your business to help you uncover how you can meet these needs? And you can ask them questions like that. Now, if it's just a regular call and I'm presenting all the options and things of that nature, asking the question about budget might not be first, but you best believe it's going to come somewhere at the end of me presenting my solution or when the customer brings up price or cost or something. That's why active listening is very important because you have to know how to weave information in and out of a conversation. You can't just read a script. You can't just have information on a piece of paper thinking you're just going to throw the information at the people. No, the conversation has to be weaved in and out. So if David was to ask me what the cost is, I'm going to have that cost conversation with him and I'm not going to beat around the bush because he asked me directly. However, if I'm in a different situation, I want to find out what your needs are because why do we need to talk about money if I can't even meet your need? That's crazy.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. So, people, did you see what? Did you see what Jay's just been dropping here? Did you see? I'm like, Johnny, this is. I mean, that alone gets people in the mindset to start selling. That alone gets people in the room to understand what to say once they get the opportunity. Now, imagine if you guys just got this. Imagine what you'll get when you signed up when you sign up for the Sales Success Society. Wow, that's not Sales Success Society, three S's. So now, okay, so like I said, you guys, you see there's a limited number of spots. Now, what Jay doesn't know is we're going to have a something special we're going to have her involved in. I kind of haven't told her yet because I want to spring it on her, but I'm working on it today. So you're going to be seeing more of this lady here. You're going to be seeing more of her. Okay, Mike, here's that goes. So thank you so much for coming on today. You guys, look, another 30 seconds. It is hello at Johnny J.
Let me say it for you, David. Let me say it for you. If you are interested in learning how to up level your sales game, just go ahead and email me at hello@jaunawalker.com. That's JAUNAIWALKER.com. Just put in the subject line, I want in. I will know exactly that you watched this episode of Inside Report. I will send you your very own private link to the Sales Success Society at that very special rate. And don't you dare tell anybody, right? They'll give it to you at that rate. I can't do it for everybody, right? But if you do that, I will make sure that you get access to the community, to the class, and to everything that you need, to the meetings and to all of the events where you can come and ask your question.
I love it. And yes, Bernard, you're right. If you are not in business, if you can't get sales, thank you, Bernard. That's so true. You know what? And just thank you, Johnny.
There you go.
It's like my favorite music group, right? I'm like, see, and I pride myself on pronouncing people's names right.
and,
But
and don't be too hard on David because everybody just calls me Jay. So he's trying to put my full name out there, and I'm like, why don't you just say Jay? He's like, no, I'm gonna say your name. It's a don't beat him up too bad. Don't
thank
beat
you.
him up too bad.
But I love Elle saying she is so wonderful. Thank you, Jay. Because I can pronounce Jay, I got problems. So
Exactly.
thank you so much for coming on this episode. And you guys get with her. Black Friday's coming up. Christmas is coming up. Get these skills so you can actually get your sales to another level. Because you want to kick open the door in 2024 like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So these are the tools we're giving you. Take advantage of them.
And you
Thank you
know
so
what?
much. Yes.
If I could just say one last
Yes.
thing, because
Yes.
when I relaunched my business, I relaunched on a Black Friday, and I was able to capture some tips and tricks that helped me to springboard my business for Q1 of next year.
Okay.
So if anyone that emails me that they want into the Sales Success Society, I will give them my Black Friday sales hacks that worked for me that will help springboard them even more. I'll do that.
I, I, I'm full. I'm full. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. And you guys, like I said, you'll be seeing more of this woman. You just wait. You'll see. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll be talking with you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.